Hey everybody, I want to tell you a little story. I was praying to God for wisdom and understanding that is logical and if possible. And, I did get something. I'm not sure how logical it is, but it was an interesting kind of revelation that was definitely, not of myself or my own head. Had to do with the nature of this reality, the universe, what does exist, and it basically was that this reality, the physical material realm, is actually a shadow of an actual object. That's a good way to look at it. Look at this object, this universe, and this material realm is just a shadow, or maybe like a blueprint of an actual building. It's not the building itself, it's just a blueprint or just a shadow of an object, but not the object. Or you can maybe say that this life is your life here is just a shadow of actual life, that you don't necessarily maybe live until you die or otherwise, that then you actually live, which some other religion, like Christianity, kind of holds this view in some respects, But yeah, I this really profoundly affected me. This kind of thinking about 5 years ago, when I was praying to God for wisdom, and I got this thing, although I can't prove it, but it really profoundly affected me for a while. Then I kind of lost interest in it and doubted it and forgot about it. But for a while, it really profoundly affected my worldview and how I looked at reality and the material universe. You know, and uh, yeah, so it's just this concept that you don't live yet. You're not actually living yet. You're not fully realized, I guess, as living until maybe you die or you're, I guess, taken up to heaven or something like that, or glorified. That this life is just a shadow of what it means to live. It's just a blueprint of life, but not the actual thing. If that makes any sense. It is a concept, like I said, that really profoundly affected me for quite a while. And then I lost interest in it and kind of doubted it and forgot about it for a while. But it came back recently in some respects. So I'm not really sure what to think about it. I know that I was praying to God for wisdom regarding different things in reality, and this did come to my mind. So it's just worth noting that, for whatever it's worth, and you can think whatever you want, but I don't know. It could very potentially be a good way to look at this reality. Where let's say, for example, that heaven or eternal life or whatever you want to call it, something other than this life and this reality, you know, could be the actual object that casts the shadow. Whereas this life and this world and everything is just the shadow. So that heaven or eternal life or whatever is the reality. It's the actual object. It's the actual house and not the blueprint. you know so that could be a good way to look at it. Yeah, it's just some stuff to think about. It really, like I said, it really profoundly affected my worldview for quite a while. And I just in the book of Ecclesiastes, because I was fairly Jewish for a while. The book of Ecclesiastes really also profoundly affected me. At least the core themes of Ecclesiastes, and how because of this idea that the material universe and the material world and even your body is everything that you are is complete vanity. That really hit me really hard and for a while. And it's complete vanity. It really is. It's all repetitive cycles and everything. So what I came to the conclusion for a while was that um the repetitive cycles they're instrumented in everything that exists, like the day and night cycles, the wake sleep cycles, the eating and digestion and elimination cycles. All the cycles in your body and in the physical realm and in nature are that are repetitive, like how the rain, falls, and then the rain, but yet the rain returns to where it came from. It goes back to the oceans, and then it evaporates and forms clouds, and then there's condensation, and then it rains, but then that cycle continues where the water goes back to where it came from, the rain goes back to where it came from. It's an infinite cycle. There's many such cycles like that in nature. I had the impression when I got this revelation or whatever, that these cycles were symbolic of things that are divine, that your mind cannot comprehend ever at all, not your natural mind. It's not possible. So because I do think your mind is limited to comprehending only the universe. You can't comprehend anything other than what does exist. So yeah, but I did think for a while that yes, these repetitive cycles are highly symbolic of divine things that you cannot comprehend. So that, yeah, it was just something to think about. I'm trying to think whatever else. I think that's most of it. Yeah, you can just think about that and decide what you think about it, and whether or not this material, physical universe is highly symbolic in what it is. That everything that exists is symbolic, in fact, of reality, whereas what exists is not necessarily reality, but rather a shadow of reality, or a shadow of heaven, or whatever you want to call it. It's not the real thing. This is where it's how I looked at things for a while. That the physical, universe and material realm is entirely symbolic in what it is, in its design. Everything about it is symbolic of things that are perhaps divine, things that you cannot comprehend. So, but you can comprehend what does exist. So it's just something to think about. So yeah. So anyway, think about that. Have a good day.